Go gather belongings, whatever's for home. Your leaving will vex him, get ready for tone. Resigning from Congress chips away at his throne. But you're tired of all his sad lying. And you made all your money, so you feel that you're done. So the GOP's resigning. Hear the chaos in Congress and threats to no end, with swing staters swinging, all redistricting. Rather than facing the music again, there's no telling how he'll see you're defying. And he'll be blaming you even if all rests with him. So the GOP's resigning.
Yeehaw!
By Marjorie Taylor, by good old Troy Nels. Not moderate folks, just poor MAGA shills. They're sick of dysfunction, so they run for the hills. Done with all of Vlad Putin's spying. Killed healthcare and vaccines, got really red-pilled. So the GOP's resigning. If Qataris and Saudis buying off all our dreams is enough to make your constituents scream, and bombing drug sailors while pardoning kingpins feels like even he stopped his hiding, burying Epstein's secrets is what it does seem. So the GOP's resigning. With Mike Johnson a simp giving power away, shutdowns and showdowns giving Donald his way. Used to be a third branch that was here to stay. Now it's rubber stamping and obliging, unless you give money and are willing to pay. So the GOP's resigning. So please start your packing and announce your vacay. Those midterms are looking like your party's decay, and the ketchup is flying at Mar-a-Lago today. If he says he's not scared, he'd be lying. He didn't think all his actions would push House members away, but the GOP's resigning. So the GOP's resigning. So the GOP's resigning.
I really hate that sad loser, Mr. Newberger.
Who, me?
All right. So,
Oh, what a Christmas present that would be.
of course, that was the
Yeah.
amazing AI funnies by Mr. Newberger. Check out his channel. He
Yeah.
never steers us wrong. And we, of
Oh,
course,
I
thank
like
him for the
it.
permission to promote his amazing, amazing talents.
Excellent, excellent. What can we say? That would be a Christmas present I'd like to open up early. Yeah.
Did you not think that that was an absolutely incredible, incredible video?
I thought it was amazing. You know,
I
that's
like music.
well, yes.
I like those lyrics. You know, he does the whole thing himself.
Excellent use of music, but also excellent use of AI technology to create a video like that. Quite effectively.
Yeah, and it was swinging. You know, the GOP's resigning.
Brings a smile to my face.
Well, they're trying to save their careers.
Of course.
You
they
know, until
are.
this lunatic is out of office, they're not going to go
Mhm.
anywhere near the party. They
Well,
can
it's,
lay low for a couple of years and then run for the Senate or something else.
it's just like that image of the rats fleeing the sinking ship that is burning in flames.
Yeah, yeah. So listen, how have you been? You had a 2-week vacation. I
Mhm.
almost had to go to the hospital, but other than that, I'm fine.
Yeah, we were very concerned about you, Whimsy, but
Oh, you guys are so sweet.
yeah, well, we've been sending you a lot of love.
I released a lot of demons, and unfortunately, when the demons leaped out, good people might have gotten hurt. So I apologize for that.
Well,
To the neo-Nazis and people that are
I
spreading
I have been in that direct
apologies.
path a few times.
No, I've never tried. Have you been hurt by me?
Well, but there was a time a couple years ago you.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Oh come on! A couple of years ago?
Oh, it's fine.
Was
It's
it the
fine.
beginning of the show? Was it when we were first
It was
starting
around the
tape?
beginning. Yeah. No.
Was I just frustrated,
Yes.
or was it because you didn't want to go swimming? He didn't have a
It
swimming
was
suit.
okay.
He was all worried about his bikini body, like anybody. It was
Oh.
hot. Remember, we shot in like 100-degree temperatures.
No, I never worried about any of that because you and I are family. You know, we love each other. You know, it's okay. When you love each other, your family, you say things to each other once in a while.
Well, you know, speaking of family, you and I need to do a photo shoot, and I keep canceling it. So the next vacation I'll be in, it will probably be Los Angeles
Oh, cool.
with you. Maybe that'll be. We'll try and make it fun. We do these things.
Yeah.
When we film together, we try to have it be fun.
Mhm.
So Chuck, who's with us today? Let's go ahead.
Who is with us
around and say
today?
hi.
Well, let me put on the spectacles here. So let me go. In fact, let me go back to the very beginning here. Scroll back to the top. We have Eleanor Wittering 3126. Hi. We have our fabulous Joel Tilson, our floor director, who does
Thank you,
so
Joel.
much for us. Let me just keep scrolling here. Lots of messages from Joel. Terry Kors 3894. Let's see, Renee Ament. Dharma Songbird. That's such a pretty name. Dharma Songbird. Michelle Lynn 1266.
Hi, Michelle.
Hey, Rockin' Pony Lady. Cool name. Anthony Rizzo, the barber. Hey.
Oh, Anthony, my beloved Anthony. Yes, he was very kind to me. He was sending me pep talks while I was flat on my back. They told me to lie flat. The doctors in Colombia, lie flat. I kept getting up and then I wouldn't breathe. I'm all upset now. Lie flat.
Yeah. Well, you know,
I was spinning every time I would stand up. I would spin, and a vestibular migraine is throughout your whole body. So your whole body is inflamed.
Oh,
the base of your neck is inflamed, which is why I always take that thick cushion with me. But I guess when I got there, I was diagnosed as severe dehydration, electrolyte imbalance.
Yeah.
I did not have an infection. I had no fever, and my oxygen saturation, the medic took it, was 89.
Oh, I knew there was something around oxygen in your brain. You know, I did a little research on altitude sickness, and I thought, do I say anything or just stay quiet? But it mentioned a lot of, let's just say it mentioned a lot of the symptoms you were experiencing, and it made a lot of sense what you were going through. But my heart just went out to you, and I know that's true for many of us. We were all very concerned. But don't you look great right now? I've been watching your last few videos.
You know what? I am a child of the Pacific Northwest. I want to apologize to the Chumash people who have lost their lands here in Portland, Oregon. I hope that we can unite to create a beautiful city, because boy, do you have a beautiful part of the world that you inherited. I come back here. This is originally it still is the land of the Chumash people, but I come back here, or the Duwamish out in Seattle, which is where I was born. And there is this Native American, I studied First Persons, the New World, which is such an Eurocentric way. It was new to the Europeans, right? But they call it New World anthropology. But there is this idea amongst the Duwamish that the rivers that spawn you like a salmon, that you want to go back to those rivers, that you are born of those rivers. And I was born on the islands, Bremerton, Washington. We take the ferries out.
I didn't know that.
Excuse me. Yeah. And so every time I'm there, I feel like, oh, these are the waters. I am the salmon, and I am in my waters.
Going off to spawn.
I'm a white Jewish girl, but I'm back in these waters. I was born in these waters, honey. It's stuck with me. On the wood pile. But I do feel better when I'm home. It's the fresh air. It's the fresh food, the salmon, the food. I'm also very acclimated to the food over here, and in California too. I do very well on the California cuisine, which is light, lean. You know, we have a lot of
fresh
vegetables.
vegetables, fruits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you do while I was gone? You had a 2
Oh, well,
He still works. I tell him don't work, and he still works. I can't get him to take
do.
time off. He's like, "Well, I've got to take care of your patient."
I
No,
took
you
some-
don't. It was a
I
paid
took some
vacation.
time, but I know my responsibilities to you as well.
You want to work, but you were paid. He gets paid when I go on vacation. Then he can go on vacation, or he can do whatever he wants. But he always works. I turn the damn phone off.
I can't help myself. I can't. I feel very loyal to you, but don't worry about me. I did a lot of my own projects. I worked on a lot of my artwork, a lot of my writing. I'm still working on organizing this apartment. I told you I have this big
I think it's
hallway
so important.
closet that's taken a month because I had so much crap. I'll use the polite word, crap, piled up and jammed into that closet. You know, like the old radio show Fibber McGee, when he'd open the closet door and all that stuff would come down. Well, that was my living room. I'm just now getting stuff organized. I've been donating, throwing out, reorganizing, but it's a much bigger project than I thought it was going to be.
Now, I know you to be a brilliant artist. When I first met you, I just thought I was kind of blown away by your art because you and I have the same passion, which is we deeply love old Hollywood films.
Yes, we do.
We merged with those films and those characters. And I wanted to be Scarlett O'Hara. And TV shows, those 50s, 60s, and 70s TV shows were the best ever. You know, so I'm just curious because there's something going on right now in terms of birthdays. What's going on?
Well, I'll tell you just one moment, but I was going to say that was one of the things I first loved about you. This very intellectual woman, this doctor. And then you told me how much you loved I Love Lucy and I Dream of Jean.
Yes.
Beverly
And Carol Burnett was my Carol Burnett.
Carol Burnett, me too. But anyway, November 30th. I mean, had something in my throat here. I should get some water. Sorry about that. Bells ring when I talk. November 30th was the 85th anniversary of the day Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz eloped to Connecticut to get married.
Oh my God, how beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful? I mean, talk about two soulmates who found each other, went on to create this incredible body of work that has affected literally billions of people across the planet that came out of their love. And the whole point of that show initially was because they wanted to find a project so they could stay home and work together and have children. Desi was on the road with his band. Lucy was here in Hollywood making movies. So they gambled everything on this little TV show. They didn't think anything was going to come of it. They just did it so they could be together to have children. They ended up creating probably the most beloved television show ever. And also, today would have been the birthday of Desi Arnaz. Desi Arnaz, he was born in 1917.
So he married on his birthday?
Well, he married November 30th, and his birthday was December 2nd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. He was a Sag. That makes sense. Very innovative, very creative, right?
Yeah, indeed. Indeed.
Yeah, they break new ground, Sagittarius. They have original thoughts. They're also considered like environmental.
Wait just a second. I'm getting some reverberation here.
Are you okay? Oh, I guess he left. He'll come back. That's all right. Yeah. So Chuck is coming back, I guess. Let's go ahead and see who's here, starting with Eleanor. Yes. After all you've been, it was rough. It was rough. You know, you do what you can, and you still wind up sick. What can you do?
I am back. So sorry about that. Someone was calling me and I was trying to disengage the call and I hit a button and it disengaged us. I apologize.
Oh, yeah.
So what did I miss out on? We were talking about Lucy and Desi.
You did an art piece for me once of them in love that I loved.
Yes.
They were together. And it's actually next to the bathroom.
Really? Well, the piece I did
every time I get in a bad mood going into the bathroom, I get to see two people in love.
Oh, that makes me so happy to hear that. No, that was from the episode where Lucy told Desi. Well, no, Lucy told Ricky, it was on the show, that she was going to have a baby at the nightclub. And there's a lovely story, and it's real short. When they filmed that episode, Lucy and Desi started crying for real. And the director overhead on the microphone said, okay, cut, we got to refilm this scene. And the studio audience started going, no, leave it alone. Leave it in the show. It's perfect. So that's what we see in the show. The two of them crying for real.
Oh, how beautiful.
Because they're baby. And
Did
that's the moment
did you have an art
I
piece
drew
to
for
show?
you.
Yes,
Yes, I do.
I want to
Yes,
see. I want to see what
I
you
do. I probably have shown this before. I showed it yesterday on
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
just
Let's see if we
knock
can't
my earpiece out there.
let's see if we can't pull back this a little bit so that you have a better visual. There we go.
Okay.
Wow.
It's a very large painting. And
I'm going to go ahead and let you talk a little bit about this painting. So I'm going to go off camera.
okay.
Does that work for you? So yeah.
Pardon me for 1 second here. I pulled my microphone and earphones out of my head. This is a very big canvas painting that I did of Lucille Ball from a glamour photo she did in 1939 at RKO Studios. It was the year before she met Desi, and she met Desi on the RKO lot. And anyway, I did a version of this painting for my friend Mary Rappaport, who owns Lucille Ball's childhood home. And she commissioned me to do paintings of the Ball family as they looked in 1920, and they now hang permanently in the living room of her childhood home. But I did a version of this, and I loved it so much I painted one for me, and I made some variations on it so hers would still be an original. So I tell you one thing that's interesting about it. Whimsy, are you there? I'll tell you this very quickly. See it's so hard because this painting is so big.
Well, that's why I went offline.
I'm trying to hold it back.
To give you grace.
It's a big painting, as you can see. But you can see the bird on top of the hat. There's an interesting story. Lucy had no problem with birds, but she detested artificial birds, like stuffed birds or like illustrations of birds. And she said the reason was because when she was 3.5 years old and she was told that her father had just died, a bird flew in through the window of her living room, and it terrified her. And so for the rest of her life, she had this issue with artificial birds. So I can only imagine the hell poor Lucy went through posing for this portrait with that big stuffed bird on top of her hat.
Wow. Thank you for showing that, Chuck.
Oh, of course. I wish I could show it better. It's hard
Have you ever tried to do a showing at any of the local cafes or anything in the LA area?
I have. It's easier said than done. A lot of places just are not interested, or they have a waiting list of people who want to put work up. But yeah, I should try it.
But now that you have such a good reputation and resume, I would think it would be a lot easier since you've had the James Dean Commission and the Commission.
Because I do. I have my original artwork in James Dean's hometown of Fairmount, Indiana, including a large lighted sign that I did the illustration before I designed.
I think you're in a very different place now, is what I'm saying, than say 20 years ago.
Oh yeah, and the fact that I have my art permanently in Lucille Ball's childhood home, which is something I'm very, very proud of. And
you got to get the news out, my friend. Listen, what do you think? What do you think about Book of the Month? We have a Book of the Month club. Talk to me, Chuck. Marion Gregory Moss.
I'm excited about this. We're going to do the interview, I think, on December 16th, aren't we?
I reached out to her. I'm still waiting to hear back. I certainly hope so, because man, do I have a lot of questions.
Oh, I do too.
And I think there's a lot she doesn't tell us in this book. I think there's more here than what she says.
Well, that's one of the reasons I love doing interviews, is because you get to find out those things. My friend, the actress Evelyn Keyes wrote a very famous autobiography called Scarlett O'Hara's Younger Sister. Because she played Sue Ellen in Gone with the Wind. And after she loaned me her personal copy of her book. And after I'd read a few chapters, I'd get on the phone and talk to her, and she'd tell me all the stuff she wasn't allowed to put in the book. So I got the enhanced version. So I think maybe we can persuade her to tell us a little more.
Yeah, I want to get the scoop on these folks when
Yeah.
off the record, so to speak.
Off the record, indeed. That's the best stuff. That's
All
where the
right.
gold is. But it's going to be a
Absolutely.
good interview.
Well, excuse me. I think we're going to go ahead. We're going to do the empath prayer. If anyone would like to receive a healing for yourself or for somebody that you feel we need to pray for, we will come together in a circle now. In any spiritual or religious tradition that works for you, I think that the Creator is wise enough to understand. So let's. Yes, I don't think the Creator. Any language works. But let's come together and let's pray for those who need to receive a healing, and let's do the empath prayer. And then I guess we're going to blitz away. Does that work for you, Chuck?
It's great.
All right. And today we are switching it up because I feel like fried. I want to try different things with my cards. So I want to work with the Lenormand today. People have asked me about the Lenormand deck. I'm a little bit of an amateur, I'll be honest. I'm not as comfortable with the Lenormand, but people have asked me which Lenormand deck is my favorite. And I like to go with the Gilded Reverie. The Gilded Reverie. And the reason why, of course, Chuck, is because it has that beautiful romantic imagery that you and I love so much, that old Hollywood imagery. That's what really drew me to the deck. All right. Without further ado, let's do the empath prayer. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively as a community, we say, Amen. And for those people who are requesting healings at this time, we come together as a community and we pray. We pray that you and those you love receive a perfect healing in mind, body, and in spirit. And collectively again, we say, Amen, Amen, Amen. May all souls be healed.
May all souls be healed.
May all souls be healed. Wow, I'm excited about today. Let's go right into this, Chuck.
What are we going to do?
Well, I think the main issue has to do with the fact that the GOP is resigning. Looks like the statistics are coming out and Trump is beginning to drop. He is in free fall even with the GOP. You know, he came in with an approval rating of the GOP of 88, and now he's falling into the 60s. That's a crisis for them. They can't win with just the GOP. They're losing the GOP. They've lost the independents. How do you feel? What do you think about that?
It's very apparent. I was just thinking this is something we've actually talked about for several months now. We've been predicting this was going to happen. So it's intriguing to watch it unfolding. You know, it just feels increasingly inevitable, everything we've been predicting. And not just us, others have been predicting it also. But I knew when they lost Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I knew that was just the beginning of this. Oh, you know, it's like that's the start of the hemorrhage. And as I said earlier in the show, it's like the rats fleeing the sinking, burning ship. They're trying to save their collective asses right now.
When you saw Marjorie walking out the door, and now there's 2 or 3 more, and we haven't even gotten to 2026, and there are special elections, in your gut feeling, how long is it before MAGA Mike has to see the writing on the wall and move to moderation if he wants to save his political career?
Well, you know, it's so interesting. I don't know if this means anything, but I just heard the word February pop into my head for whatever that's worth. I heard that loud and clear when you said that. So possibly early next year, around February or so, generally.
Yeah.
But it is inevitable. I just can't help but think he's going to leave office in utter disgrace and shame.
Well, we're in December now, and the remote was December, and we are now there. So I'm thinking, could we see some kind of major health crisis that pulls him out early?
Now that would be interesting if it would be a health crisis, because we've certainly been seeing that for Trump. You mean for
Well, no,
Mike
no, no.
Johnson?
I'm saying, so look, if I were Mike Johnson, I would be terrified for my career.
Oh, he has good reason to be.
And
Very good reason.
so if Trump has a major health crisis where he has to take a month or two off, and go soak his feet in Epsom salts or something, his ankles.
Well, that might be the story they're going to give us. He has to soak his feet in Epsom salts.
I mean, well, he can't
Soak
fly.
his head while he's at it, but
He's going to have to look. He has to limit his international travel. He has to, because he of his health concerns.
Well, I mean, would you think about that that little thing the other day about another MRI?
What?
And Trump addressed it the other day. It was in the news, and he said, I don't know what part of my body they MRI'd, but I am in excellent health, or something to that effect.
Oh my goodness.
And I mean, wouldn't you agree that this is probably more monitoring of his brain? If they're monitoring any part of his body, certainly his cardiovascular system, but probably his brain, because that would be consistent with someone with Alzheimer's. They'd want to be regularly checking the brain for things like shrinkage, white matter, blood vessels, things like that. And an MRI does not involve radiation, and so
That's right.
safe. So it's something safer.
Ooh, you got trained good. Somebody trained.
Well, I got trained by the best doctor, Whimsy. The very best. But yeah, the MRIs are often used to monitor the brain because it's not subjecting the brain to radiation.
That's correct.
And it would certainly make sense that they would be, the reason for all these MRIs would be the reality of checking his brain for whatever the hell is going on with him.
Okay, so now my next question.
How's that for a medical term? Whatever the hell is going on.
Are the medical reports lies? Do you think?
Yeah. Well, I've said for a long time that
perfect heart health at 80. Nobody has perfect heart health at 80. Not even in Okinawa. And I spent years just focusing on the Okinawa studies. Nobody has a perfect heart at 80.
No,
come on, folks.
No, but according to Trump's physicians, he's the healthiest president in all of the history of the land.
With ankles?
All that. I know. And don't forget his poor hands that are bruised from shaking them so much.
And that is part of which system? The cardiovascular system.
Yeah, the veins.
So next question.
Mm-hmm.
Physician's assistant Chuck. If that's part of the cardiovascular system, how's his cardiovascular health?
Probably in the poopy dumpster.
There you go.
How's that for a medical term? Not good. And of course, that's directly affecting his brain as well.
Lord.
And I mean, we're seeing so much evidence. I mean, it's really disturbing. You watch the man talk, he's rambling, he's incoherent, he's forgetting things. It couldn't be clearer, his decline.
Yeah. And of course, the latest news is that Netanyahu out of Israel, we also want to talk about that, is that Netanyahu is requesting a pardon for his crimes of taking possible bribes. So he is in trouble, and he has requested that the president of Israel grant him a pardon. So here is the thing. He will be granted a pardon on condition that he leaves office immediately. Post haste. Yes. So he has been called to DC by Trump. Discuss. Why would Donald Trump be calling emergency for Netanyahu to get on a plane to DC when he is facing a pardon by the president, by the Knesset? Pardon, forgive, forget, and you're out of DC, out of Israel. Time for a special election. Does this mean that The GOP is resigning in the Knesset as well. Discuss.
Disgust or discuss?
I'm both. We call,
Yeah.
of course, our GOP is the Likud. And the first seat, the head of the Likud party is Netanyahu. He was a major security, his security problems led to the massacres of 1,200 Jews on October 7th. And I'm just now finishing an article for the Times of Israel exposing how sexism cost the lives of 1,200 Jews, because the women of the wall, the women that were monitoring security before October 7th, had high statistics of sexual harassment in that unit. I think it was Unit 402. And their job was supposed to sit there and watch the wall and watch to see what Hamas, the terrorists, were up to. And they were reporting back and saying, they're rehearsing attacks and killing kibbutzes. They're rehearsing the attacks on the kibbutzes, and the men in charge in the IDF smacked him on the ass. Oh, a woman's testimony is worth nothing. It says that in the Talmud. A woman's testimony. So women's testimonies cannot be trusted. You're just a bunch of tits and ass with a ponytail. And this is kind of the sexism that we're dealing with in Israeli Defense Forces, just like in the U.S. military. So that is the recent article I'll be putting out for the Times of Israel, is to address this sexy IDF soldier. Aren't our soldiers sexy? Sexy little ponytail. And so what happened was that you had ultra-Orthodox Jewish ideas where a woman's testimony cannot be is only worth half that of a man. And so you had
I never realized that, Whimsy.
Yeah, so you have this rise of sexism that's coming from ultra-Orthodox Judaism, sexism in a male-dominated environment like the military, and you have this group of 15 female soldiers whose job is to monitor safety at the border. And they, for days and days, they said we were screaming into the void. It was, they didn't listen, they didn't hear, and they didn't care. And October 5th, they were sending emergency memos. We are about to be attacked. We are about to be attacked. Shut up, go make me a sandwich, You're just a female. You're just TNA and a ponytail, right? Dancing little IDF soldiers. The name of the article is called Sexy Dancing IDF Soldiers. How Israeli sexism basically killed 1,200 people. So now Israel is faced with this security breach, and the fact that sexism played a direct role in the massacre of 1,200 people on October 7th, because they refused to listen to women. And until there are major changes that take place with sexism in the Israeli Defense Forces and in the culture itself, it will remain a security risk. So what is Trump thinking? Trump is thinking, I'm about to lose my ally in Israel, because the GOP's resigning and Likud's resigning. So this guy's resigning too, and that means special elections, and it's a great opportunity for unity. I've publicly said that I back Benny Gantz and the unity government, which is all about bringing people together, peace, love, harmony. So I think Trump is worried that his plans in Gaza for Trump Tower and everything else are going to go to shite if this guy's out of office. And I think that that's the real reason he's being called to D.C. I don't know. How do you feel about that, Joe?
Well, I don't know if I have anything to add to that. I think your reasoning
Isn't it great?
I know. I just think what you just said, I mean, I was fascinated listening to what you had to say, and I thought you really summed it up well. I don't know what I could add to that. I'm in total agreement with you.
Yeah. So when the article that I'm doing right now drops, I will give everybody a copy. I'm trying to get the names and the backstories of the 15 women. I think 10 were killed, 5 were taken hostage. I think 4 were freed of the hostage, and 1 was executed while in Hamas captivity. Many of them were raped and sexually assaulted, and all of it happened because male officers refused to believe them. And it never had to happen. So Netanyahu and his right-wing sexist, creepy friends need to go. Because it's not just that they're bad for everybody. They're bad for the whole region. So it's interesting that Trump is calling him back to DC. And of course, it also goes back to the idea that Trump himself cannot fly as often
Yeah, I was thinking that.
because he's so healthy.
Yes, of course.
So
Of course.
everybody's having to fly in
Darn, that plane that was just gifted to him that he can't even
from
use.
Qatar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also Saudi Arabia coming. Everybody's coming to him now because his doctors have, every time he gets on a plane, he has to have a physical okay. Just like what happened when he took off for Egypt for the peace summit, he had to go to the doctor first.
Yeah. Pardon me, I was just pouring some water for myself here. I had to reach for my cup.
Oh, that's so fine. I'm slugging away at my coffee here.
You're usually the one coughing. I had something in my throat, and I just needed some water.
Well, also I've got lights and dust here. I've got 5 major lights on me right now.
And
Temperature gets up to about 90 degrees under these lights.
And I've got cat hair. Sasha wanted to join me today.
The other big news, and I mentioned this to you, and I know that Joel Tilson will have plenty to add on this, is that a lot of people feel that on the other side, Ukraine, we're looking at Ukraine losing part of its territory to Russia. I think it's a horrible mistake. I think that Putin is a global security risk. All the data shows that he is the biggest threat in terms of nuclear war. What do you think about this, Chuck?
Well, it just feels like a senseless appeasement. You know, I agree. This should not be happening. But we've even talked to this. I think we've talked about this for several months. I think Trump even had that as part of his plan, that the Ukraine give part of their land.
Insane.
I know it's insane. They shouldn't have to give up anything. It just feels like a senseless appeasement. But yeah, again, I agree with what you said about Putin. He needs to go. He's a menace, and well, beyond a menace. But we've seen for quite some time he's probably going to be put into exile. You know, in Siberia. Now, granted, probably a nice.
He's got a palace in Siberia.
Yeah, a palace in Siberia. You know, it's not going to be some gulag or anything. Gulag. But yeah, he's going to be put away. Everybody knows it. And plus, he's losing his power almost simultaneously the way Trump is.
And Netanyahu.
I've always been, Netanyahu. I always find it fascinating, the parallels, how they mirror each other.
Well, they're friends. They're all friends. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the Ayn Rand libertarianism counter socialist movement in Russia. He was the conservative, anti-socialist, pro Ayn Rand libertarian, and he was going to attract these right-wing Americans that were libertarians, which is screw the poor. I'm in it for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was really the unholy alliance, and that's what Netanyahu did to Israel, slashing social programs, shutting down the kibbutzes, privatizing the kibbutzes, and killing the democratic socialist dreams of the founders of the great state of Israel.
And look at here in our own nation.
Which would have eventually integrated all citizens, and then this freak showed up.
Yeah. But I mean, look how it parallels here in America. Screw the poor. Let's take away your SNAP benefits. Let's take away your health insurance. Let's give to the rich. Let's make billionaires even richer and more powerful. So it's an amazing parallel. Like I saw today that Trump is going after Democratic-led states with their SNAP benefits. Did you?
Sick.
I didn't mean to change topics here.
No. That's on topic. That's on topic.
But that's something I saw today because he's angry. Trump is angry because states are not giving immigration status for many of the recipients of SNAP. And you know, I forget the numbers, but it was estimated like 1 in 8 people in this country receives some sort of SNAP assistance. And Trump is going after the Democratic states. His own words, the Democratic states.
Well, let's first take a look at Ukraine and whether or not they're going to agree to this deal. Let's throw some cards, Chuck. I'm nervous.
Okay.
I don't like this at all.
Oh. Yes, this also. Will the Ukraine give land to Russia? Oh. Well, I'm kind of sensing that there is going to be some concession where some land is going to be given to Russia. I got a yes on the pendulum. And first of all, nobody's really happy about this. There's a lot of discontent, a lot of shadow. But this involves, of course, the whole community, the whole country. And what I got balance to create a state of grace and ultimately compromise. And when I got this last card, that's when I asked the pendulum, will the Ukraine give land to Russia? And it went to a yes. But of course, now I am reading on the energy as it is right now in the moment. That could change. Now, I'd be very interested to hear now what you found, Whimsy.
Well, the calla lilies of death.
Yeah.
And it's also an offer, but it's the calla lilies of death. That was the first card that I got, that we could be seeing that things are coming to an end. And then we have tick tock, the cuckoo clock.
Mm-hmm.
So it was something that inevitably had to come to an end. And then you again have this imagery of the funeral, or the sarcophagus, if that's how you pronounce it. But what has me disturbed was it was all about getting access to resources.
Yeah.
A child who looks at the things to play with. So ultimately it's about Putin. I want that Odessa port. I want these ports.
Mm-hmm.
I want these resources.
The minerals.
Yes. Everything, that the minerals, the oil, everything else. And it's my right to take it. And and also this delusion that he had, where he literally thought that he was the second coming of Christ, and that he was going to hail in the true church, which was basically bought and sold by the Russian mafia. I found out so much crap in those remote views when I got into his head, that they were paying for the priest. The mafia was paying the priest of the Russian Orthodox Church to pray for them and to forgive their sins. And so every time they would steal something, a percentage of the spoils would go to the Russian church. And when it finally collapsed on Putin and he was completely out of money, he started to break into his own churches and say, we're taking our money back. All that money you got from the mafia, we're taking it. And so he started bootlegging back it was like a wild remote. I'm like, holy hell.
Yeah.
When I tell my audience this, they're not going to believe it. But I
taking money from the mafia and the church.
He was in St. Petersburg. Give me back the damn gold. But you said that it was for forgive. We don't believe in that crap. Give me the fucking gold. They were like taking it back, because I gotta work off the black market to get some weapons to keep this charade going.
Keep the snow on the road.
Yeah, and that's how desperate Putin was. That he would go in and he would raid the church at this point to get the money to keep this delusion going.
Oh.
And that he was pandering to the church. Yes, you're going to call me the Messiah, and my mafia is going to give you a little bit of money. And then when it's falling apart, I ain't no Messiah, and I'm taking the money. Screw you! I just told you what you wanted to hear. It's like, when it reminds me of like every bad relationship that Donald Trump ever had. It's like, it starts off great, right? That's what Cohen said. Like, Marjorie Taylor Greene, you got you're under the bus with the rest of us. Welcome to the club.
Oh yeah. Oh, I think it was a real wake up for Marjorie when she started getting death threats from her own, what she thought were her own people. Yeah. Has Trump decided on invading Venezuela? It certainly sounds like it thus far, but
let's take a look.
But you mean as far as a formal declaration?
Let's take a look. Yeah, I think that's what he's saying. Like, are we going to attack Venezuela and all that oil?
Yeah.
We need to get off of oil.
Really
It's destroying the planet, and it's creating a lot of wars.
Absolutely. But that's what this is about. And I'm getting a big yes that he wants to. Is he going to? When I ask, is he going to? It goes into maybe. Well, when I ask, does Trump plan to do this, want to do this, I get a strong yes. I don't know. See if there's anything.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if he'll go through with it. He'll be able to go through with it, but I just got the intention is there.
If you saw the movie Syriana with Matt Damon, where he was, I think, in Bahrain or Saudi Arabia, and he was working with the oil companies, and his kid drowned, and the Saudi asked him, well, what do you think of us? And he said, I think you're a bunch of Bedouins living in tents. And when the oil is gone, or we have a better way of doing things, you're just going to crawl back into the tents. And there's a point in the film where the prince he's speaking to says, you're right, we got to get off oil. We've got to diversify, because when the oil's gone, we've got to educate our citizens. We've got to change our ways, because this oil is not going to be here forever.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, Matt Damon says, but don't worry, we'll attack Venezuela and we'll take their oil next. Like he predicts we are going, and the audience, when I was watching it in a movie theater with a friend, the audience started laughing, ha ha ha, attacking Venezuela over the oil.
Mm-hmm.
That this film, yeah, you can rent it. Syriana with Matt Damon, had predicted exactly where we're at right now.
It's so intriguing. It's certainly not the first time this has happened by a long shot. You know, it was an intuitive who once said to me that the oil of the earth is like the lifeblood of the earth.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
very much like that, because it's very interesting, because I felt my pendulum kind of answered a lot of the question, but I got two cards, life force, and that's what reminded me about oil being the life force of the world. And you just said yourself, there's only an infinite amount of oil before we go through all of it. We bleed the earth dry, because my other card was death. Death, it would be death to the life force of our planet, and plus all of the wars, all of the fighting, all of the sheer
environmental
environmental damage, all of that in the name of this oil. And so I found it very intriguing. I got those two cards, and only those two cards.
Well, that's why you have these interesting people in the mix that are both good and evil, in the sense of you have somebody like Elon and Tesla, which was moving people away from oil, and now the tunnels and things he's busy building to get people off the tunnel, and then doing evil things like USAID. And so it's how this is going to play itself out. But I think it's really something to watch. My cards are interesting. It shows the polar bear. That has me very nervous, because they're talking about drilling in the Arctic.
Wow.
And it's goodbye polar bear.
Exactly.
So that was the first thing I saw, was the Arctic, and then I saw dark storm clouds are coming. That really has me worried.
Yeah.
The well, right? Going and dipping from the well, taking, and then the snake of temptation, the devil, the snake. So it's just blatant greed. That's war over Venezuela and the drug cartel is maybe a small percentage of what this is about, because if we were really worried about drugs, we would be sanctioning China over its fentanyl precursors.
Of course. No, that's just a scam. That's just a front for this. It's about the oil. We know that quite well.
Yeah, well, Maduro is a puppet of Putin, because Putin wants the oil trade as well.
Yeah. I was just going to say quickly, that is very disturbing about the Arctic. You know, it's like what global warming has almost destroyed. This would like finish it off completely. I just thought of those horrible images of polar bears emaciated. Have you seen those where they can't eat? They're starving to death.
Yeah, so they're drilling in Alaska, and they're also drilling, the Alaska drills.
I've seen them drifting on chunks of ice because everything is melting away. I mean, I didn't mean to get off topic there, but
well, that was the imagery they showed, and so that's exactly where my head went, and that has me very worried. Will Dems regain control of the House with the sudden resignation of GOP congressional members, the GOP resigning? Goes right back to that initial question. How are you feeling about that, Chuck?
Well, they have such a razor slim majority as it is. And if I don't know how many members they would have to lose their majority and give power back to the Democrats. Maybe one of our viewers would know, but I don't think it's that many.
What is it, 3 or 4, 5, 6, something like that?
It's a very small number. I know that.
Let's throw some cards on this.
So I mean, if I could just say out of my opinion is yes on this, but let's see what we got.
Ooh.
Whoa.
America is mad.
Oh, I know. I'm getting something like that to my own cards, but let me ask this real quick. Are the Democrat what? Well, I get a definite yes that if enough members resign, the Democrats will regain power. But as far as the Republicans go, it's interesting. I got that loss and death. That came up, and I asked about the Republicans. And I know this, I had this card just a moment ago, but it has different meanings. And I get this for the Democrats: life force. They're very much in their purpose, and there is going to be balance. There's going to be a definite, I take this to mean a rebalancing of it. I see that as going in the favor of the Democrats. But what do you have, Whimsy?
Wow, I have the star over the Democrats.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess they do take it. And then
Mm-hmm.
the grave for the Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
Ross was in the House of Opposition.
Yeah, death.
What's so interesting,
Loss.
because they
Death.
used the church. They used the church to promote.
Yeah, they did.
The deep well. But look at this, a roll of the dice. They're on thin ice right now, and it isn't even in 20. They're not even at. Boy, they're going to be slaughtered in 2026. If they're already losing and we haven't even gotten to 2026, dang, you couldn't even make it a year. They couldn't even survive a year under Trump. That's pretty bad.
In some of my channeled messages I've read on the Thursday shows, like from Eleanor Roosevelt, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, they've all been saying this, that the universe, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, simply will not support this. It cannot sustain itself. They've been saying that from the other side, and we've certainly been seeing signs of it. It's just no, it can't sustain itself.
I have a question for you then.
Yeah.
You're a wise teacher. Why is MAGA dying now? Why now? Now Boebert is starting to hide under God knows where. They told her to just disappear. She's on the down low right now. She's just like she's not to talk to any reporter. How did this happen? Was it slow? Was it within? Do you think?
I don't know. That's an unbelievably complex question. You have me really pondering that. But it's just because, it has seemed like for the last decade, like, how much longer can this go on? Why is Trump just getting away with everything? Why do the Republicans keep getting more powerful? Maybe we will see the bigger picture later, and we will, with hindsight, that we will see that maybe these 10 years were really more like a blink of the eye. This was, even though it's felt like a slow motion train wreck for us, who've had to endure all of this, but it's had to reach this climax or this crescendo for it to all finally implode and fall apart. And I think it's also been about waking up the American people.
Yes.
Like a lot of these people who've been in a fog, the television generation, the people conditioned to sound bites, which is what Trump and the Republicans have played to. They have played to people's ignorance and stupidity. People are waking up. They're thinking. They're going, wait a minute. What's happening here? So I see that as part of the higher reason for all of this. And maybe it has taken these years for it to all come to fruition. That's the best way I can think to answer that off the cuff.
Final outcome for the GOP. I'm sorry, I've got a green screen coming here, so you guys can't see it. I'm gonna have to turn my green screen off. But
we get to see all your dirty dishes. No, I'm kidding.
Let me get rid of this because I want this to come off. Okay.
Okay. That's
so this is the outcome for the GOP.
What is that? I can't see it.
People lost in a maze and they don't know where to go.
Meaning, you mean the MAGA supporters?
Yeah, this is the GOP. This was the final outcome for the GOP.
Yeah.
I kind of feel sorry for them.
Yeah. I see that for all of
Lost
the
in a
reporters.
maze, man. They're lost.
Yeah, I mean, how many of us have used that term? These people are in a cult. They're like a lost. They have seemingly been like a lost cause. Like nothing you could say to them. There was no reason. It was like talking to a wall. They were so impenetrable that maybe it has taken something like this, something like a nuclear explosion, to finally wake people up. But yes, you're right. I agree. They're probably going to be in a strong state of confusion. I think it's going to be deeply bewildering and threatening to people who have basically bet everything on the farm. They
This is
put their whole
Epstein.
faith in this.
Don't you think this is Epstein though? Don't you think that they wound? Look at them. They're not on the same page.
Yeah.
They're not in the same. They don't know where they're coming, where they're going. Maze, chaos. I'm telling you, the GOP is lost. They have. I think it was Epstein, because ultimately, when she started digging around it with Epstein, that's when he started going after her. And that's when she became the battered wife in Congress. And that's when they started, you had these creepy men taking Boebert into a skiff and threatening her. I mean, this is some creepy stuff that's going down. And then you have all these GOP resigning and running for the hills. You can't tell me that this whole Epstein thing didn't have. We got to continue with Epstein, because that's ultimately the Achilles heel of the GOP right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Because it's become the party that supports pedophiles. People are starting to see it as that. We literally shut our government down for what, 2 months to protect pedophiles? It's horrific. And maybe it just had to get this bad. Polls closing in Tennessee at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that would have been, what, about 5 o'clock our time. Will the Democrats win special congressional election?
In Tennessee, don't you think?
I know that's been a closely watched election, as all of the recent ones were, because we want to see this as a litmus test for how much power Trump and the Republicans have lost.
Well, as of now, with early returns coming in, it looks like it's a close race. They're both at 49%, with Matt Van Apes at 49.8 and Aftine Ben at 49.1.
Really?
So with 56% of the vote in.
Yeah. So this could be a nail biter. If it's that close, it may be several hours before we're going to have official results. I'm disappointed it's that close. But
Tennessee, you're disappointed it's that close in Tennessee?
Well, I was just going to
the sky just opened up and it's the coming of Christ or something.
Yeah, I was
talking about Tennessee people.
Tennessee,
the fact that we're talking about a 0.8 difference with 56% of the vote coming in. Hello. You're damn scared. If you're seeing numbers like that in Tennessee and you're GOP, you should be scared witless. I'm trying to be confused. I said witless. Let's take a look at the cards.
Okay.
Will the Democrat win?
Will the Democrat?
You can do your 10 limit if that's easier.
That's what I'm going to do. Will the Democrat win in the election today in Tennessee? For whatever it's worth, I'm getting a strong yes. I'm getting a strong yes there.
Ooh. Testosterone.
I also just pulled one card. New life, new blood.
Oh my God, I have no idea what's going to happen. You have this Mars energy, testosterone-laden GOP crap. Look at that. Look at that testosterone. I am an Aries. I am man. And then you have his opposition as the owls of death are floating around. So you could interpret that as this macho man has the owl of death around him as his house of opposition. Hopes and fears, the letter writ, and the final outcome is the anchor. So if the GOP wins, it's because they are anchored so deeply in Tennessee politics. But
very intractable people who are going to vote Republican.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, The only way that they're going to win in Tennessee is if they economically are invested. In plain words, if you have major companies that are based out of Tennessee that are heavily endorsing newspapers, etc., the GOP candidate, that might be able to pull them over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
But he's under severe scrutiny. He's got
Mm-hmm.
the magnifying glass over him, and his opposition a bridge, which would indicate trying to pull together independents, moderates, and Democrats to take him out with the owl of death. He is on thin ice.
Yeah. I'm asking it again. I'm still getting a yes
I
here.
think that the Democrat could win, though.
I'm getting that. I'm getting a strong yes. I just asked again. And I'll tell you something very interesting. I was just here with my arm down, holding my pendulum as you were talking.
Right.
The pendulum started swinging to yes when you started talking. It was like agreeing with everything you were saying.
Yeah. So, so the Republican has now gained its 50.7 to 48.2.
Mm-hmm.
If the Republican wins, according to the Akashic Field, it's most likely because local businesses and money got behind him. However, even if he gets in, this guy's going to have a rough time, this Republican, because to have the owls of death and that magnifying glass over him, he's. I don't think that the people of Tennessee are going to be happy with him.
No, I don't think so
Yeah.
either. I mean, it goes back to that image of the burning ship. It's not a good time to be a Republican right now. Not a good time at all. So I'll be intrigued. I'm going to watch this election closely tonight because it'll be a test for me because I keep getting that yes on the Democrat.
Oh God, I hope so. I
hope so too. I hope
which parts of Tennessee have been. You know what I want to see is what with the Tennessee election is I want to see the map because that's going to tell us if they've already counted Nashville. Because if they haven't counted Nashville, then we've won. So,
is there a way we could look that up real quick?
Yeah, I want to see which.
Yeah, please do. I'm intrigued.
Because, but if he was doing well because they did the New York Times. Oh, they'll tell us which districts. Yeah. Nashville. Did Nashville vote yet? That's what. Oh, I've got to log in. I'm sorry. Give me a second, folks. All right. I'm sorry. I have to get into my. All right. What the heck? Continue without upgrading. They're always trying to sell me things. I don't like that.
I know. Today
New York Times. Go ahead.
Yeah, today when I was trying to look up some news stories, I kept getting these pop-up ads and bulletins, and some of the articles you couldn't even read because of it. But anyway, what does it show here?
It looks like 85% of 55% of the vote has come in for Nashville.
Yeah.
62% of the red areas, 70%, 79, 95. So we still 99. This is very good news for the Democrats because Nashville still has not been counted. Okay. So they've gone through the Republican areas. This is the map I wanted to talk to you about, though, that had me interested. What's also interesting is Clarksville is going purple. That these northern areas are starting to go purple. Mm-hmm. And I think that just has to do with the fact that there's the blue wave. People are moving south, and Franklin is also going purple. Yeah. Which is interesting because you have a lot of really poor people in Franklin. So it's interesting to see that.
That is intriguing.
Yeah, that's the
traditionally those are the people who have gone Republican.
Yeah, but you can see that purple is starting to happen there. And so how did he do? So 59% for the Republican. So that's what I'm saying is you're starting to see the poorest of the poor are slipping from MAGA. Franklin's got some pretty poor areas.
And that's been a core for MAGA.
Right.
A few years. So that's
Wayne is pretty poor too. This is what you would normally see in poor southern districts like Wayne County, where District 7, but you've got an 85%. But Look at poor rural areas. Not the same.
Yeah.
I don't know, Yeah,
Renee just said Nashville just went blue.
yeah, Nashville's going blue,
Just went
but
blue.
only 55% of the vote coming in. So
Yeah.
even though Ben is at 45.8, we have to also realize that the majority of people are in blue Nashville, and Franklin's numbers are changing, which is shocking considering.
Yeah, it is.
But you do also have a large African American population in Franklin. I don't know. I'm optimistic.
I am. The pendulum was very strong.
Yeah.
And I even asked a second time. So let's hope for the best. And even this card I got, new life. I just see that as something positive, a new direction.
Well, Chucky Poo, I've had so much fun with you. I think we're going to
had
go
fun with
ahead
you
and
too.
is there anything we want to check before we close? Any comments that you wanted to mention? Or I know you can see all the people here. Anything that we missed that you wanted to point out from our viewers? We had a lot of comments, and unfortunately,
I like Joel Tilson's comment here. Last train to Clarksville. No, I'm feeling positive about this. Yeah. Gosh, I'm just scrolling through some comments here. NBC, some of these things we've already touched upon. I don't know, Whimsy, is there anything you can think of that we might have missed from someone here?
well, just be optimistic. And I mean, the fact that it's this close in red Tennessee, the fact that we're seeing some of the rural areas starting to go purple in the north, and in poor urban areas has me very optimistic about.
Oh yeah,
You've got wine on your. What did you? Is that grape juice?
Oh, you know what? I use these glasses when I'm painting, and I just batter on them. I'm sorry, I should have cleaned them.
Oh my God.
Hey, it's live,
We just roll with it.
We just roll with it, flaws and all. I got disconnected at one point, and I was trying to hold my painting up. My earbuds fell out of my ears. We roll with it. But Joel was just pointing out, Tennessee is deep red. And we have another comment here. If Tennessee turns blue, wow, that's like my home state of Virginia. When I lived there, it was as Republican can be. And now it's very much a Democratic state. We selected a Democratic woman, first governor, Democratic woman governor. It's exciting. I'm thrilled about it. But Tennessee could be heading in that direction, and this is just an indication of the rest of the country.
Yeah.
I think we may not even need the midterms to regain power at this point.
Yeah. Well, and I think that even if the Republican slides in, the fact that they're losing these rural areas I would be scared if I saw these numbers.
Oh, they have a reason. That's always been their core. The Bible Belt, the poor people less educated. They've always counted on that. They've played to that audience. Hence wrapping themselves up in religion, the flag, the Bible, everything they think are their core values to get elected to office when we know they don't give a damn about these people.
Good point.
Karma is coming around. I'm going to think of all kinds of cliches. The chickens are coming home to roost, what have you,
Hey, all right, Chuck. So thank you for being here, everybody. Chuck, if
people
are trying to reach you, how do they reach you?
Well, they can reach me, Dransfield Chuck, one word, at gmail.com. I love hearing from you. I love doing readings for you. Those you asked me to do that. It's one of my great honors. I also love doing commissioned artwork for people. That's, you can see what I can do. I have my artwork in James Dean's hometown, Lucille Ball's childhood home. I'm very good at receiving energetic messages from my subjects. So often you get more than just a piece of artwork. I can also give you a little something from the subject. And so please contact me and we can take it from there. And also I have my channel, Chuck's Captivating Chronicles. I do a little little talk show on Mondays, Chuck's Captivating Chat. And I guess that's all I have to say.
I have to say, I really enjoyed the last one. It was like I was hearing my eulogy. It was like I was dead and I was hearing someone talking.
Oh,
Whimsy, I remember the kind things you did for me. It's
well,
like, geez,
I
this is
just spoke
great.
the truth.
I'm going to have you speak at my funeral.
I just spoke the truth, Whimsy. But, I was having a lot of people writing to me like, well, how is Whimsy? What's going on? So forth.
Oh, you're all so sweet.
And I just thought, well, the best way I can address this is just to go on my show and talk about the Whimsy that I know so well. And I love
have a good heart, even if I
very
am.
much. The Whimsy I love like my family. You are my family. You're a dear, dear friend. You've been such a mentor to me. And I just wanted to share that with people on the show.
You know what's interesting, though? I felt like when I finally got angry at the person I was angry at, and I said, I'm done being abused.
Yeah.
I didn't even use the word abuse because, I didn't want to go that far, but yeah. I was just done with it. I felt like, I have a part of me where I'm almost too nice. I don't want to hurt the feelings of the person that's abusing me. Oh, I'll make them sad if I tell them to stop being mean to me.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just got to cut the cord, and it's very difficult.
Well, it is, but ultimately it's an act of self-love for ourselves. It's about respect for our own selves, and cutting the cords is just releasing that person. Like I release you back to the universe. Be gone. You can, if you want, you can even bless them. I bless you. I forgive you, whatever, but go. You're not welcome in my life anymore. You have no place in my life anymore. You have no hold in my life anymore. And I was thinking also what you experienced in this last week or two was much like the Tower card.
I saw the tower, and by the way, I saw the tower in my 6th house, and I ignored it and said, "Oh, that's just a coincidence. Cars fall where they will." It's like I just pretend when I see something I don't like in my cars. Oh, this is just for entertainment purposes. There's a tower in the 6th house,
and the cards are like, "Oh, really?" But that's what it reminded me of. You had a tower moment, but a tower moment can be very positive. But you have to go through a lot of hell.
I feel so much better. I feel younger. I'm 5 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
It came up because I didn't eat for 3 days.
Well, yeah. You're reminding me of Bette Midler. Oh, by the way, had her 80th birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday,
yeah. But Bette Midler was on Johnny Carson once, and she came on looking all svelte and her just sensational. And Johnny said, "How did you do it? How did you lose all that weight?" And she goes, "I had intestinal flu for a month. Don't I look wonderful?"
Yeah, it was something like that.
But you were purging toxins.
Yeah, I was vomiting. When you have a vestibular migraine, you're just like, you just cannot stop retching. And all I had was Dramamine. I didn't have any of the strong stuff, the Vicodin or whatever that's called. No
ginger.
I had ginger. I couldn't. I would take a couple sips of water, keep it down, keep it up.
You needed the hardcore stuff.
And it was just like retching, like coming in. And after 3 days, then you start emotionally falling apart, and then you don't have oxygen. And they're like, they were kind of mean to me. It's like, you have to stay flat, Dr. Anderson. I gotta get up. I gotta. It's like. And it's like, I got to get back to the toilet. And you're like retching. Yeah. Then I'm lying flat on my back because it was cold on the cement in the hotel. Saying,
I've been there on the bathroom floor.
Oh, it's the worst feeling in the world.
Oh,
I hope you don't get it on your way to Italy next year.
Well, you're just reminding me of my college
days. Is it this spring? So it's like in 6 months, right?
Well, I'm hoping tentatively spring. I've got to save up some money.
I'll go with you.
Okay.
Let's go together.
We'd have fun. We can do remotes, send them back home, and everything.
I think we should do it together. I think we should do Spain too. Can we do?
Oh, I love Spain.
Really?
Have you ever been?
I haven't been in like 40 years.
I've been
since I did. I am treating you to the air ticket. Maybe I'll go with you.
I would love that very much. I think we'd have a lot of fun together.
I think spring is the perfect time.
I think it would be a good time.
Oh, that would be nice too. It'd be my birthday. We'll have it be my 63rd birthday.
Okay.
I think he wants to get rid of me.
Well, I love I'd love it if we went.
You won't be
You know,
able to pick up chicks if I'm dragging along.
it's okay. But you know, ironically, it was back in 2020. You probably know this. I wanted very much to go to Venice for my birthday, but we had this little thing called
Because
a
the girls
pandemic.
they're on mopeds in minis, by the way, all over
But
Venice.
we had this little thing called a pandemic lockdown, and I spent my birthday sitting here on this couch talking to people on the
Really?
phone. Yeah. But no, but I was going
Wow.
to tell you about Spain. You will love Spain. I've been there a couple of times, mainly in
Only was there.
Barcelona,
Oh,
and also there's a charming little community about a 35-minute train ride called Sitges, right on
you
the
know what?
ocean.
You know what we'll do. You know what
I'd
we'll
love
do.
to
Since
show it
I'm
to you.
treating you to the ticket. So
Okay.
we'll do a photo shoot in LA. We'll fly, and then I'll spend a little time with you, and then you go off and do your own thing.
Okay. But
I
if you
mean,
want
so
to go
that
to
you
Spain,
can
I'll go
do
with you
your
too.
flirting and your. I don't want to. I mean, whatever. I know you may also have friends you want to meet up with and stuff. So.
Well, I do have a friend in Barcelona. It'd be fun to meet up with, but I'd love you to see Sitges if you ever go to Spain.
Okay, we'll figure it out. That's so much fun.
Yeah.
All right. In order to connect with me, you can check me out through Booksy, Dr. Whimsy Booksy, for appointments with me, and of course Chuck through Dransfield Chuck, if you would like to get a reading with him. I think we're out of here. How fun, Chuck!
This was
That
a fun
was
show
fun.
today.
But I am not flying without a migraine patch, or I don't want to
Mhm.
have this to ever happen to me again. I'm telling you.
Also, if I may suggest, don't fly during a Mercury retrograde.
Okay.
That's a time you're never supposed
All
to
right.
make
So like 3 months
trips.
before we fly out, we'll have a serious meeting. about-
Definitely. In fact, we can consult with my friend Joyce Petrus. She can look
But
at
we
our chart.
yeah, we could fly. Well, we could fly directly to Rome. That might be okay. I'd be okay with that.
Oh, this sounds great.
Because the idea is it's getting off the plane and back on and transfers. But if we can
Yeah.
get it direct,
Oh, direct.
it's going to be
Yeah.
in much
Makes
better
all the
shape.
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
thinking of the food. The food. I love Italian food.
We will
I
do
live
this,
for it.
Chuck. We will do this. This is
Okay.
we need to do this. This for
We will
our
do our shows
yes,
in
we need
Italy.
to do this.
I forget what time it'll be. Where's
And
it?
I'm a Marriott member, and I've got points, so we can both get our own executive suites at the Marriott.
Yeah.
As
Let me
long as
find
we
out.
stay at the Marriott, we can get really cheap deals.
Excellent. Because I'm thinking what Italy is 10 hours? Is it 10 hours ahead of us? So we would have to do our show 2 in the morning, but that's okay.
Yeah, or we can
I'm up for it.
we can pre-record. We can
I think it'd be kind of fun live 2 in the morning, you know.
that would be fun. We'll be sitting in Milan drinking table wine. And
Wish you were
he
here.
knows I don't drink, and I'll be like I'll be shika after 2 sips. Ah!
Well, it'll be like that show we did here in LA a couple of years ago with the
Oh my God, I'm really getting excited about this.
Yeah, I had the wine cooler, and didn't you have a Heineken?
Yeah, you bought me a Heineken.
Yeah, we
You
were
got me
both
two
tipsy and you
Heinekens,
did
but I
that
only
show.
drank one of them. Also, or we could fly to Madrid or something like that.
Yeah,
But I think you really want to do Italy more than Spain.
I've never been to Madrid though. I'm open to anything. I just love Europe, and I haven't been.
Me
in so
too.
long.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. All right, we're out
Okay,
of here.
we're out of here.
Kind to all, so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. We'll see you next time, people.
See you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.